Way before Disney bought them, the Simpsons have been teasing the House of Mouse for years.
This song's not like any song you know, ho hi.
But most of these are just fun, harmless references and parodies. But what about the times when the Simpsons straight out insulted Disney? Jokes that Disney definitely wouldn't allow today.
We call the evil gene. Hitler had it. Walt Disney had it.
So to help me count down these acts of absolute savagery is Disney Dan.
Hi, I'm Disney Dan. You may remember me from such classic YouTube costume character evolution videos as Mickey Mouse, Kermit the Frog, and Barney the Dinosaur. No, seriously, Lydia, thank you so much for inviting me. I am so excited to talk about all those times the Simpsons have crapped all over Disney.
So without further ado, let's get started.
Haha, my cartoons weren't good. They were just first.
Number 6, Homer chokes Mickey. In December 2017, the House of Mouse bought 21st Century Fox for around $52.4 billion. And therefore, they now owned one of the most popular TV shows in history. You would have thought that when Disney bought them, their creators would clean up their act and respect their new corporate overlords, but that's not how the Simpsons roll. After the deal was struck, an illustration of Homer strangling Mickey Mouse was shared on Twitter by executive producer James L. Brooks, Matt Selman, and Al Jean. It was a tongue firmly in cheek way of acknowledging their new boss, and it was a pretty ballsy move too. Or maybe, just maybe, it was a bit of payback for what Mickey did to Homer in Disneyland. A pretty unfriendly welcome to Springfield, but definitely one that's true to the show. I mean, just look at Bart's face. He's absolutely loving it. And did you know that the Simpsons creators actually predicted Disney owning them almost 20 years before it happened? In the episode When You Dish Upon a Star, there is an image of the 20th century logo with the text "A division of Walt Disney Co." underneath it. This was a little jibe at how Disney was buying everything up at the time, including ABC. Little did they know that they too would be owned by said company a couple of decades later. If you want to know more about how the Simpsons have been able to correctly predict so many things, then I've written a book all about it. It's called The Simpsons Secret, a cromulent guide to how the Simpsons predicted everything. Yeah, shameless plug, sorry. I've linked the book down in the description if you want to go and give it a look.
Number 5, a big Simpsons welcome. When 20th Century Fox first bought Disney, many fans feared that the family-friendly corporation would begin to censor the more adult-oriented, riskier Simpsons.
Marge, can we trade? I don't trust these guys.
But those concerns were put to rest when The Simpsons released the special, Welcome to the Family. In this 50-second short, the family wasted no time in making fun of their new masters.
I, for one, salute our new corporate overlords.
Homer forces the family to don their Mickey ears, something the family were very reluctant to do, perhaps mirroring the writer's true feelings for the takeover, before Dumbo falls out of the sky and lands on Homer. This was followed by another quick short announcing that The Simpsons were arriving on Disney+, and Homer once again forces Bart to wear his Mickey ears.
I'm not gonna do it, you're not gonna make me do it. I don't care how much they paid.
Although brief, it showed that The Simpsons had no fear in teasing their new owners and that they won't conform too willingly. Also, just a side note, interestingly, since the Disney deal, Disney has censored some of the shows slightly. On Disney Plus Hong Kong, the episode Goo Goo Gai Pain has been removed for a number of controversial scenes, like the family visiting the embalmed tomb of Chairman Mao. Or as Homer puts it,
He's like a little angel that killed 50 million people.
And a plaque in Tiananmen Square reading, on this site in 1989, nothing happened. Before Madame Wu arrives in a tank, recreating the famed June 5th, 1989 Tank Man photograph.
Number 4, clobbering Disney's lawyers. Disney are fiercely protective over their intellectual property, and their army of lawyers are always ready and waiting to hand out cease and desist orders to anyone who infringes on their property. Principal Skinner learnt this lesson for himself in the episode Lisa the Beauty Queen. When one such lawyer and two thugs attempt to shut down Springfield Elementary School Carnival for using the phrase happiest place on earth, they get a hard lesson from a Green Beret. Now personally, I think this was the Simpsons' way of saying that they weren't afraid of Disney's copyright lawyers.
Copyright expired.
And would continue to parody them in the show.
I'm an original creation like Ricky Rouse and Ronald Muck.
But on an entirely different note, Disney, I really, really love ya. And please don't sue me.
Number 3, making fun of Disney theme parks. Hey, who doesn't love Disneyland? It's the happiest place on earth. Trademark. It's the only place that you can wear Mickey ears, a cute little backpack, dress up as Cinderella. Actually, you know what, Lydia? I meant to tell you, you can't do that. They don't let you dress up as Cinderella at the parks. But hey, listen, as much as I love for paying overpriced churros all the time, the Disney parks have their faults, and you know what? The Simpsons have never been afraid to point that out. The Simpson family really lampooned the Disney parks in season 6's Itchy and Scratchy Land. In this episode, they cleverly swayed away from overtly damning the Disney company by switching Mickey for Itchy, perhaps as a way to mock Disney without attracting the ire of Disney lawyers. But even still, the episode pokes fun at the overly crammed car parks, spending money on needless things, which is basically a con, the excessive parades, and the not-so-friendly institution that runs behind the scenes.
Here are 2 free passes.
But there are 5 of us.
Here are 2 free passes.
That's better.
I have to give it to The Simpsons for this one. The jokes are still relevant today as they were in 1994, actually more so. The park can be very inaccessible for families, and the amount of money you're made to feel like you have to spend is only getting larger. It also made fun of the iconic Euro Disneyland, now Disneyland Paris.
Itchy and Scratchy Land open for business.
Basically mocking how empty it was when it first opened, with many at the time calling it a failure. It doesn't stop there. In season 14, Special Edna, the Simpsons fly to Florida. Bart unveils that they're going to some kind of park, and it was at the very bottom of their to-go list.
Oh, it's even boring to fly over it. Oh.
A joke on the fact that Epcot is considered by some to be the worst Disney park. But not everyone hates the park, as Principal Skinner gives it a raving review.
It's educational and offers mild thrills.
However, that doesn't stop Homer trying to hop the fence into Disney World, only to be charged $14 for a churro.
Oh! Oh!
The Simpsons doubled down on their criticism of the parks in season 26, episode The Man Who Came to Dinner. In it, the family visits Disneyland, aka the happiest hell on earth. Now there's a whole lot of slander here, talking about their overpriced pretzels, the agonizing length it takes to actually get into the park, and mocking the commercialization of Star Wars since being bought by Disney. Funny thing is, this was before Disney even had built Star Wars Land. The episode also, of course, pokes fun at Tomorrowland, which is constantly out of date. And the endless queues for pretty much everything.
I just want to sit down, but the line for the bench is too long.
The episode also highlights the changes on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride with their brand new song.
No means no. We know now.
A reference to the sexism complaints of the real-life ride, which resulted in Disney updating it and replacing the animatronic women incidentally strung up for a Wed the Wench auction into a strong and defiant Anne Bonny lookalike, aptly named Red. Regional executive of Walt Disney, Kathy Mangum, said, "I kept thinking of a little girl riding that boat right now. Is this a scene we want her seeing?" So whatever you think about the change, we know where The Simpsons stands with this parody. Now personally, I don't see the change as such a bad thing, but I definitely do relate to the price of a damn expensive pretzel. Number 2, The Simpsons movie. Come on, don't lie, you knew this one was coming, didn't you? Yes, this 2007 film has tons of Disney references throughout, including this Snow White one, where instead of helping clean the plates and dust like good little wild animals, they help Homer and Marge get lucky, even calling in reinforcements to help tear off Homer's clothes. But the most savage Disney reference comes a bit later on. When the Simpsons family are on a train to help save Springfield, Bart rummages through some people's luggage before popping out and saying,
I'm the mascot of an evil corporation. Get down from there.
This is, of course, a joke that Disney have done some very questionable things in the past. But little did Bart know that he would be forced to don the Mickey ears for real many years later.
Hey, everybody! Ha 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 ha!
Number 1, roasting Walt Disney himself. When not content making fun of their parks and movies, the Simpsons were never afraid to go after the big cheese himself, Walt Disney. The Disney company are severely protective of their creator's image, maintaining that he was a lovable, wholesome gentleman who inspired the magic in all of us, an untouchable icon who was delicately presented in documentaries, movies, and museums around the country. But the Simpsons had no problem going after Uncle Walt. In the aforementioned Itchy and Scratchy Land, Roger Myers Sr. was a stand-in for Walt. When Bart and Lisa visit Roger Myers' story, the narrator talks about his dark background, stating that he cared about almost all peoples around the world. Emphasis on almost all. The narrator goes on to say,
when he was criticized for his controversial cartoon, Nazi supermen are our superiors.
Dr. Hibbert once exposed that Walt Disney had the evil gene, alluding to the rumors that Mr. Disney wasn't as wholesome as he appears. In The Day the Violence Died, they reference Walt's frozen head.
You're comfortable in there, Daddy.
Which, in case you didn't know, is the urban legend that Disney's disembodied head is stored somewhere cryogenically frozen in a lab, ready and waiting to be revived once they cure, death? Now, we could go on and on and on talking about Simpsons and Disney, but I'm pretty sure Disney's watching us right now, Lydia. We gotta get out of here. We gotta shut this down before they shut us down. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much to Disney Dan for helping me out with this video. The link for his brilliant channel is down in the description below. I would also love to say a huge thank you to my newest Flying Hellfish members, Brian Carmody, Will Moore, and Scott Britton. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I love you guys.